لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله. استووا استقيموا تقاربوا سدوا الخلل هذوا بين المناكب. Double check your mobile phones. Please make sure your mobile phones are switched off on silent mode. Straighten the rows. Stand shoulder to shoulder. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله الله أكبر الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله استغفر الله استغفر الله استغفر الله لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Many of you will be aware regarding the program which is taking place today after Asr Salah. Sheikh Izar Ahmed has been reminding you throughout the week, and the main objective of this program is to draw awareness and to educate ourselves. No more than about 150 years back, there was an individual who came and he self-proclaimed himself as a Mujaddid. He wasn't happy with that. He promoted himself as Al-Mahdi. He wasn't satisfied with that. He promoted himself as Masih Ma'ud, the promised Messiah. He wasn't satisfied with that. He promoted himself to the final prophet. He wasn't satisfied with that. And then finally, mentioning that in dreams he saw that he was God and he believed in himself. So false ideologies and theologies like that, and totally interpreting the Quran into something new, mentioning that the Quran in every verse in the Quran does not cancel out the other, meaning it's still active, it's alive. So where the Quran mentions that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a seal of the prophets, in fact he is not the seal of the prophets, because his Quran has not yet been cancelled out. So anyway, he self-proclaimed himself and gave himself many new titles, and many of us perhaps are not aware of this group or aware of this individual, which to a certain extent it could be something good, but it's something bad at the same time as well. Many of us, and I've spoken regarding this before, I'm going to take a few moments of your time, send our children into a secular environment without actually preparing them with the foundations of Islam. And it's a parent's duty, a father's duty, a mother's duty to educate their child with regards to the fundamentals of Islam, the fundamental teachings of Islam. Ma'alumun min ad-dini ad-durura, as the Islamic this terminology, that your child should be prepared with the basics of Islam. So if he was to go in a secular mixed environment, so for example we like to send our children to university, and there they're coming across people from different walks of life, so people who represent different cults, different groups, different religions. And then what's happening, they're going into that environment with one understanding, yet they're coming out with something else, because they don't know how to defend themselves. The fundamentals of Islam they're totally alien to. So one common question that people ask is regarding this sect, that how do we know that they belong to a certain sect? Well, you don't, because the fact is that they dress as Muslims, they speak as Muslims, they claim to believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they claim that the Quran is their final book. So in terms of their outer appearance, to you they look like Muslims, okay? However, if you know and you're aware of this sect and group, when they start speaking, that is when you realize there's something wrong. And this is why we have to attend such programs and educate ourselves and make ourselves aware of these groups and these people. So when they start referring to Quran as being something which is still open, no Quranic verse has been cancelled out, when they say to you that the Masih Ma'ud in fact came and he lived and he died in India, that to you should hold that should, to you as a Muslim, being aware of the fundamentals of Islam, that should be problematic to you. When they say to you that Isa alayhi salam, and they talk disparagingly against Isa alayhi salatu wasalam and his mother Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam, that should be problematic to you. And in more recent times, going back to 1977, again referring to the secular environment that we are sending our children to, we had another problem, and that was the growth of Orientalism, where we had a couple of people, authors, who wrote an entire essay putting the Islamic primary sources to one side, so that's the Quran and the Hadith, and they built Islam on secondary sources. They built Islam on secondary sources, referring to Aramaic sources, Greek sources, and they came up with something totally different. They questioned the existence of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They even existed where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was born in Hijaz. So they came out with a new theory, and even though this work was put to one side, it was disliked by many academic scholars, Muslims and non-Muslims, because it did not meet the criteria at that level. Despite that, again, it was a new problem for Muslims that they had to face and they had to challenge. So when at academia level, when you critique something, you have to go to the root, which is the Quran and the Hadith or the Sunnah, which they didn't. And like this, when we critique this particular cult or group, we have to go to the roots. The roots are the works that this individual prepared, which are full of swears, which are full of theology that goes against the teachings of Islam. So this is why the main objective of this program is to make ourselves aware with groups and individuals who proclaim and bring these ideologies. And you might think that I'm safe because I'm not at university, but there's a chance that your child, your grandchild will go, and if they're not prepared, then once they fall into their claws, then this is something very, very dangerous and something that we should be very, very concerned about, because there are Muslims, na'udhu billah, who going into those secular environments and coming out with many mutashabihats. As our Quran says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Our Quran is something that has no doubts. They're going into these environments and coming out with doubts, because parents themselves are coming to us and saying that my child is attending university, he attends college, he goes to another institute, and people are questioning about the existence of God, about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about whether this is somebody genuine, whether Hadith and Quran can be trusted. And how do I answer this? So if the parents themselves are not prepared and don't have the answers, how are the children going to be prepared? So this is why after Asr prayer today, 3 o'clock, this program has been set by the Khatm Nabuwa conference from London. It's a great honor for us as a masjid and a community regardless to be hosting this event because of the ongoing construction work and expansion work at Birmingham Central Masjid. This program has been transferred into Makki Masjid, the 35th annual UK conference of Khatm Nabuwa. So try to come down yourself, bring your brothers, your friends, your youngsters as well. And for the sisters, this program will be live on YouTube and I believe on Facebook as well. So they can also benefit from this as well. All brothers are requested to partake in this program. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. وَجَزَاكُمُ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا.